got listener questions, so I want to quickly get to listener question that we had last week that we didn't have time to get to. And it's from our friend Ron B. Thank you so much for sending in all of these insightful observations and questions. It helps us out, and we really enjoy answering your questions. And that goes to anybody else. If you think of anything you want to ask us or any feedback you have on the show, we are more than happy to connect with you, go back and forth. We have a lot of fun with these. But this week, he asked about the future of gaming. He said, you guys probably remember we were younger. Certain things like books and movies kind of always portrayed the future that is now as way more advanced than we actually are. But that seems to always be the case. In the futuristic world of 1998, LA has fallen into the ocean.
Right.
Flying cars, AI, men on Mars, that kind of shit, he says. When it comes to gaming, is there something that surprises you that hasn't happened yet that you thought would be possible by now but isn't or hasn't been implemented? So, Derrick, you first. Anything that you're like, maybe we should have this shit by now?
I'm surprised we don't have like some sort of chip we can attach to something on our brain to put us in the game.
That's scary.
I know. It
like
is
a la
scary,
Johnny
but
Mnemonic, maybe? Or like the Matrix, maybe?
Yeah. Like, I'm surprised we can't like jack in per se and actually be inside a world. Like, we have, like, there's a lot of different anime to do this. Sword Art Online. They have the VR headset that you put on and you actually plug it in and you're there. Like, you're there. It's a completely, you control the character's body. It's not like the PlayStation VR or Oculus Rift where you're just kind of moving your hands and like leaning forward to walk. You're like actually performing all of these moves as if you're actually in the game world.
Right.
So that's one of the things that I'm kind of surprised we're not here. But the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, that's pretty fucking wild.
Yeah, I don't know if I want that. That sounds like, because that could be, there are some
you're going to have a lot of people sucked in.
I was going to say, there's some advances in technology that I feel like would not make the world a better place. That sounds like Ready Player One, which worked out for him, but in the real world, I'm like, nah, guys. No.
Yeah, no, leave me alone.
No, that sounds terrible. Don't fuck with my brain, please. But but along those lines, I always thought that VR would be more advanced by now, that you could put on a wireless headset and actually walk around an environment and interact with things, or more a la Connect. You know, the idea was that we'd have AI advanced enough, like that bullshit Milo demo where the kid was reacting to you and he could read your face and the emotions on your face. I thought by now we would have full body control of games like that using a series of cameras or wireless hardware that would assist with that. And it seems like that's not far along, or the technology's not there yet, and it's not really accessible as far as price either. So that's what I'm really surprised about. I feel like by now we should have a VR set that's as easy as picking up a controller, but you're putting maybe something over it, like a visor over your head, and boom, you're in it, right?
Right.
So that's I think where I'm at. I don't know, listeners, what do you think? What kind of technology in gaming would you have expected by now that somehow we haven't got? The only other thing I can think of, and I think I talked about this before with Miles Morales, I want a game, and I think this is just, I think it's more manpower and time. But again, maybe as tools progress, it'll be easier and faster to do this. I wanted a game that truly could handle fully destructible environments, an open world where everything is fully modeled. You can walk into all the buildings. It really feels lived and breathed in. The AI is something that Cyberpunk promised, but definitely did not deliver. You know what I mean? I keep expecting that, and we keep believing it, because Cyberpunk 2077 was not the first time we were bullshitted about something like that. I've been trying that shit since back in Shenmue. And Shenmue, for its part, Shenmue actually was pretty impressive for the time. But that promise of that kind of Peter Molyneux style promises where he was always just shooting the moon and bullshitting, you know what I mean? Like, those are the kind of things I would expect it to actually be real by now. So, let us know what y'all think.
Yeah, you know what else? I want to smell stuff. I want to smell stuff in my games.
What does that smell like?
I want to smell stuff. Actually, even more so, I want to taste it. I want to taste. You know how good this food is looking in these games now? Yeah. Like, especially like Final Fantasy 15. I found another recipe. Ooh,
I've discovered a new recipe.
Yes. And the food that Ignis makes in that game looks so good.
I want to taste films. That's what I want to taste. Whenever they have like ramen or ham or eggs, I'm like, God, give it to me.
Yeah,
You're
I want
making
to
me
taste it. I
hungry. I
want
don't
to
think I've
smell it.
had dinner yet. I'm gonna run up and have dinner now. All right.